morning, students. Myself, R.V.R. Babu. I am working as assistant professor in IT department. So I am having 11 years of experience. Now, our course is Python programming. Okay. Course is Python programming. Course is Python programming, and your program is information technology. You are under information technology department, and year end semester is second year, first semester. This course is having credits 3. Now, so let me tell you the importance of this Python programming. So your Python programming is very quick, and it integrates all your systems more efficiently. It integrates, it works with very well inside your computer. That's what it's meaning. Integrate means summation. It works, it integrate all your systems more efficiently, and it is also very fast. And next one is Python is powerful and fast. It plays well with others. That means it plays well with others in the sense it plays well with other programming languages. Other programming languages. Now, and it is friendly and easy to learn, and that means it's friendly and easy to learn in the sense if you look at the syntax of your Python programming language, for any programming language syntax is common. Easy to learn means your Python programming is just like English statements, just like English statements, just like English statements, and it is open. That means it is open source. Open source in the sense it is freely available over internet. There is no need to buy, no need to buy, no buy concept. There is no need to buy this. Okay, and some of the reasons why people are using this Python is that if they start using this Python software, they will never prefer other software. That is the flexibility it is giving. If you start using this Python software, you are not supposed to have the interest to use another similar kind of software. That's what it's meaning. Okay, it is very fast, powerful, it is very simple language like English kind of statements, and it is freely available over internet, right? Next, yeah, importance of this Python actually. It is friendly and easy to learn, it is open source, freely available over internet. Okay, you can get this using this website python.org. Yeah, this is what is the logo of python.org company. Okay, next, and it is used in web design and internet development. Web in the sense it is used in web in the sense it is mainly used for website design, and backside of this website, Python mainly works very well backside of your website. It supports your website very well. Okay, and database access. What does database access mean? Suppose if you consider Amazon is having its own database. You are interacting from Amazon website. Yeah, let me give this. Suppose this is, so you are a user. Okay, you are interacting with Amazon. Suppose you are working with Amazon web interface, using Amazon web interface. Using this Amazon web interface, suppose you order 10 kgs of tomatoes. Suppose if you order 10 kgs of tomatoes, if you order 10 kgs of tomatoes, that 10 kgs of tomatoes, that order should go and place in the database. Okay, and that yeah, order has to deliver to the order has to deliver to customer. So in order to communicate with the database, in order to communicate database over web, Python is strong in this kind of concept. If you design this concept using Python programming language, you can get the outcome very well. Okay, to work with databases, Python works very well. You will learn this course in third year, first sem. Right now, and Python is also useful in scientific and numeric to do mathematical calculations. Okay, to do mathematical calculations, scientific in the sense, if you need any programming language to work with huge calculations, huge scientific calculations, Python is useful. And it is also used in education. Yes, you can teach mathematics. You can teach mathematics. You can teach mathematics, and you can also. This is a programming language in education, compulsory for any BTech course. This is compulsory course, and it is also helpful in network programming. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Suppose this is one system, and this is another system. If this system wants to communicate with this, and if this system wants to communicate with this is called, you can feel it like this is process 1, this is process 2. Between two processes, if you provide communication, this is called network programming. This is called network programming. Okay, so to provide communication between two systems, so Python really helps in this. Yeah, this is what is network programming. Okay, yes, next. And software and game development. So if you want to develop any personal software or customized softwares, and for game development, this really helps. Okay, and it for designing of this, Python having a concept called as packages. This packages concept helps very well for software and game development. And now, see, these are the companies: YouTube, Google, Yahoo, even Dropbox, IBM, Mozilla. All these companies are using this Python software for internal development, for their website development. Okay, right now. So let us move to the next slide. Yeah. So importance of Python. Let us see some of the codes given by the major software companies. Okay. Yeah. YouTube is internally using this Python. Similarly, Google is also internally using this Python for their website design, for their website design and working with the database. Now let us look at this. Thousands of real world business applications are running. Okay, and what YouTube says is that this is a software architect of YouTube. He said that to produce with a minimum of developers, by using less number of developers using Python software, they are able to develop they are able to maintain their YouTube channel efficiently with minimum developers. Okay, if you want to work with minimum developers, Python software helps very well for designing your YouTube channel, for designing your YouTube website. Yes, this is what is the sense. If you use other programming language, it may not be possible. Okay, right now. Next, what Google says. He is the director of search quality at Google. He says that Python has been an important part of Google Inside and remains grows and ours today. Dozens of Google engineers use Python, and we are looking for more people with skills in this language. Now, actually where Google uses this. See, inside Google, what we generally do is that how Google uses this. So there is an option called as search, right? Okay. Suppose inside of this search, Google search, inside of this search, if you type Modi, what happens? If you type Modi, what happens? It searches similar kind of pages over web. Okay. It searches for similar pages over web. To develop, actually this is one kind of application in machine learning. This is one kind of application. You need to have a machine, which searches like this. This is called machine learning. So to design a concept like search, this Python helps very well. Okay, right now. So with minimum developers, Python works very well. If you want to design, Google also uses this Python for machine learning kind of things, for searching. Okay, for searching. Right, now let us look at another thing. Yes, he is the founder of Python. His name is Guido van Rosen. Actually, he started developing this in 1980s. Previously, he worked in the development of a language called as ABC. Okay, ABC is the origin for this Python language. Okay, and he is the scientist. Presently, he is working in a company called as Dropbox. He is working in the company called as Dropbox. He also worked some of the times in Google. He also worked in Google after development of this Python. Okay, and Python is widely used general purpose high level programming language. What is high level programming language? The statements or the code what you will write in Python are generally like English kind of statements. That much is English kind of statements. Okay, yeah. Next, so yeah, he started developing this 1980s. After that, in 1991, he released his first version in 1991, and later he started development of this using Python Software Foundation. Okay, if you want to get any Python software now, you are supposed to get this Python Software Foundation. You can get this over the net. If you have time, you can look at this python.org. This is Python Software Foundation having a website, python.org. It is open source. It is open source community. Some of the scientists who came across over the web with free of cost to they made like one community to develop this Python software. They are working together with free of cost to develop this Python. Okay. Now, the inspiration for the name, this name Python is given because this this founder is very much interested in a TV show, BBC TV show, that is Monty Python's Flying Circus. Okay, so he was a big fan of this circus. That's why he gave a name Python to this software. This is it is very interesting actually. Now, next one is this Python is, the advantage of this Python is code readability. It is very simple to read. And the syntax also very easy, very simple syntax, and you can write your code in less number of lines. You can write the code in less number of lines. This is the great feature of Python. You can write the code in less number of lines. Like you don't have main function in Python. XC you have the main function. Okay, this is less syntax oriented. Yeah, we will see several examples of this. And next, let us look at this. These are all the companies freely working on the development of this Python software. Dropbox, this other presently working in this Dropbox, and Google also working on this. Quora, Mozilla, IBM, and Cisco have implemented Python. Okay, yeah. Being it's open source, all these companies worked on implementing of this Python and also using that Python. Right now, next. So if you look at this, versions of Python. Let me quickly revise this. So in 94 Python 1.0 is released, 97 Python 1.5, 2000 Python 1.6, okay, again in 2001 2.0, again 2001 December 2.2, okay, and 2003 2.3, and 2004 2.3, and 2006 2.1, okay, 2008 2.6, okay, right. And you see this version generally will be called as Python 2.x version, 2.x. If you look at from here, 2008 3.0 started release, and 2009 3.1, 2010 2.7, and next 2012 3.3, 2014 3.5, and 2016 3.6, 2018 3.7, and 2019 3.7.3. So this is called as, generally will called as Python 3.x. Okay, as far as I know, X means generally open. Okay, X means generally open, and you can also treat here like 1 2 3 4 5 6, no problem. Now see, Python 2.x, 3.x, there is slightly small differences in 2.x and 3.x. Okay, at present we are using 3.x. Some people mostly like 2.x, some group of people like 3.x. Each and every version is having its own features. Okay, now, so this is very important thing. Okay, now, so 1991 the scientists started working on this. Okay, we are having versions 1.x, 2.x, and 3.x. Okay, presently we are using 3.x. Now, so let us look at again the features of Python. Let us summarize the features of Python. It is very easy to learn. It is more expressive, like English kind of statements. It is free and open source. It is high level. We are writing high level. We are writing English kind of statements. Later we need a software. We need an interpreter which converts the high level code to middle level and then into machine code. Okay, you need to convert your Python code into middle level and then to machine level. And it is portable. If you write Python code, same Python code you can run in Windows operating system as well as Macintosh operating system. Code is portable. Okay, the Python code what you are writing is portable, object oriented. We are using object concepts for effective utilization of memory. Effective utilization of memory. We are writing this for effective utilization of memory. And next, it is extensible. Yeah, it is extensible to, yes. Yeah, you can extend this, no problem, this language. And embeddable in the sense, it is easily embedded with other programming languages. Yes, you can write this Python, this Python can work easily, works with structured query language. Okay, easily works with structured query languages. Embed in the sense, it is easily embeddable with other languages. Interpreted, yes, line by line, Python executes its code line by line. And large standard library. Python is famous for its library. It's having library for math. It is having library for numbers, to work with numbers, NumPy, like that kind of things. GUI programming. So a graphical user interface. You can also design a web page using Python. And dynamically typed. Dynamically typed in the sense, this is very important sense. Dynamically typed in the sense, generally we will not write any kind of data type in Python. If you want to write a is equal to 10, there is no need to write int a. We will not write in Python. Okay, we will directly write like a is equal to 10. But you can have the question like how Python interpreter knows this a is like integer. Okay, that a is like integer is assigned to a value 10 at the time of run, at the time of running. Okay, the type of your data will be known at runtime, then that is called dynamically typed. This is what it happens inside Python. Okay, yeah. So now, yeah. So let us look at, this is very important concept, Python interpreter. So if you write any Python code, suppose if you consider, if you write a Python code like a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, c is equal to a plus b, you can write directly like this. Yeah, you can write directly like this. There is no need of writing full stop. Okay, this is strictly b equal to 20. You can write c is equal to a plus b, print of c. Consider this is the sample code in Python. We will write like this only in Python. There is no need of main, there is no need of write its type int a, and you can also having a very simple print statement. You can store this file as simple.py. You can store this file as simple.py. Right. If you can give this Python code, okay, and syntax checker and translator will be there. If it is syntactically okay, it generates bytecode. Okay, it generates bytecode, and that gives as an input to Python virtual machine. What is the duty of Python virtual machine? Python virtual machine converts your bytecode into what? Into a machine code. Machine code in the sense zeros and ones. Zeros and ones. Okay. This your Python code is input to syntax checker and translator. It converts into bytecode. Okay. What is bytecode? Bytecode in it accept predefined functions. It converts all other parts. That predefined functions, they have to include to the libraries, and then those are converted to the complete zeros and ones. Okay, including to library. Okay, converting those libraries into zeros and ones is happening by Python virtual machine. Generally, remember, if you give any code, any syntax checker and translator converts into bytecode. That bytecode using Java virtual machine, it converts into zeros and ones. So it's a deep concept. If you want to work with, if you work with Java, you can understand what is virtual machine. Okay, but the input to the virtual machine is bytecode, which is zeros and one form, but not completely. Why it is not complete? It is unable to convert predefined functions like print C. Okay, rest will convert. Okay, the duty of JVM is it converts these predefined functions also into zeros and ones. Then we can have in our hand completely converted zeros and ones. We will store that inside memory, and then we will see the results. Now this is what it happens. Okay, and it does all these things line by line. Remember, it does all these things line by line. Interpreter means line by line. No, yeah. So this is the explanation for what I explained to you now. Okay, now yes, now this is what is your syllabus. So far we discussed introduction to Python. Next class I am going to give you idea about program development cycle, input, all these things. Okay, so far I discussed this Python introduction. Let us quickly read that summary. Okay, let us quickly read that summary. Okay, now, summary. So our course is Python. Course is Python programming. Python programming, right? So, and next point is, yeah, it is very easy to learn. It is fast, and it is high level. Python is high level, and which is interpreted. All these things we have seen. Okay, and it is mainly open source. It is mainly open source, and Guido van Rossum, who is a Netherlands scientist, developed this in 1991. Okay, and 1994 Python 1.0 is released. And later we also discussed Google, Yahoo, IBM, Dropbox. Companies are using this. And also we also discussed about yes, versions. We also discussed about versions. We discussed versions like, we majorly classified versions like 2.x, Python 3.x. Okay, and we mainly discussed about interpreter. Okay, so yeah, syntax checker generates bytecode. This bytecode is an input to Python virtual machine. Yeah, Python virtual machine, which converts to machine code. Okay, yeah, these are all the basic introduction to your Python. Okay, next class. Yeah, clear? Is it clear, right? Python programming, easy, fast, high level, interpreted. It is open source, freely available. And if you want, oh shit. If you want any kind of details, you can refer to python.org site. Next, I'll stop here. Next class, I will continue the remaining things.